Well, I wanted to bring this story up for you guys since you guys are from the same state, and we talked about this recently. Or I know I sent it to y'all, talking about Governor Whitmer and her massive lead. Apparently, what they're reporting over here at Daily Caller says Democrat and Michigan governor massive lead over Republican candidate spells trouble for the GOP. And let's see if they say where this poll was. Okay.
Yeah, I can tell you exactly what you're going to learn here. I can tell you in a total summation. Here it is. Ready? In a state that they were able to pull off a steal in 2020, polling suggests they may be able to do it again in 2022 and in 2024. Go figure. In a state that we have argued over and over with all the evidence that a court would need has been stolen, and the AG candidate, Matt DePerno, has said he will make this his number one priority issue. You're telling me that it's out of the question they could do it again? I'm shocked.
Well, this is also a state. There's also a state where they took the top 5 leading guys and made a case that they didn't have enough signatures.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of BS going on here, but there's two things I want to say about this. Sorry, besides what Tom said, is it goes on to say something along the lines of, well, when you ask people, they don't know that much about this candidate or that candidate. And there's two reasons for that. I think one is because people don't pay enough attention to their state politics, and two, because at this point, like, you've got maybe 10% of the Republicans in the state that pay attention to an actual primary. And then after that, you'll start to see people actually recognize the one candidate. So I don't take this poll with a lot of grain of salt in that way, because it's especially like, the average Joe doesn't know who's running the GOP primary. It's like, well, they never do. So it's skewed in the way that it represents the data anyway. But yeah, this state's super corrupt. So that doesn't.
I also would tell you, just from my experience, knowing when I tried to help Terry Lynn Land run her Senate campaign here in the state of Michigan, part of how they do these polls, and I don't know how this particular poll is run, but just in general, the polling when they're doing these kinds of who will you support polls, they're run by the candidates to try to figure out where they should spend their time. If something's close, maybe they're going to put more resources into one county or another district or what have you, because they think maybe they can pull off a win where they otherwise wouldn't. I don't see this as being much more than people who want Whitmer to win saying Whitmer's leading. And that's the people in this state who would call guys like my uncle, who likely have a annual or a monthly donation set up to the DNC, and it just goes and goes, and they don't know and they don't care. And when the call comes in and the poll says, will you vote for them? They just say yes. And I think that's who they're asking to get that number. I think
it was 600 phone calls, so it's not like it's a super accurate poll.
So yeah, it's like you're calling through, in that case, it's like you're calling through a list of donors to say, hey, you still support us? And at that point, I don't know where they did the poll or where they got the numbers from, but I don't take that for, a lot of worth, a lot of weight.
It's kind of like Bill Gates' favorite book that you see in all of the pictures of him, How to Lie with Statistics. Like, I just,
just in the
when
background.
They put a poll out like that, I don't know. This state is Whitmer. Nobody's hated in the state more than Whitmer by everybody.
That's what I was going to say. So PJ, if you go to a Meijer right now, if you go to your local town Meijer or Walmart, for the folks at home, Target or whatever else, another big box store like that, and you just yelled, fuck Whitmer, you'd probably get people yelling, yeah, or clapping.
Everywhere.
You would not have someone call security. You would not have someone say, that's offensive. You wouldn't get a Karen. You wouldn't get a cop. You would get nothing but a cheer or maybe a let's go Brandon.
Granholm, who was terrible. She was liked enough by, Granholm, who was absolutely terrible, you could at least argue that people were supporting her. I can't see any support for Whitmer in this state. Like, it's not the same at all. So the fact that they're trying so hard that they're actually having the FBI raid Ryan Kelly's house, and then they're having 5 of the other GOP candidates with some BS charge that they couldn't get 10,000 signatures. The one guy who's leading the polls for the GOP somehow couldn't get 10,000 people to sign a petition for him. It's not believable.
Was it because they were saying the signatures weren't correct? Or
they're saying they're not real. They're not authentic and verifiable signatures, which is funny as all hell that now the Democrats care about verifying signatures when it comes to an election.
Kind of weird, right?
They cared about when Gavin Newsom was going to get recalled, but that's the only other time.
I thought it was racist if you wanted to verify someone had a signature, because, back in the day, slaves couldn't even write their names. So how dare you assume that in the 21st century, someone can, make their mark?
Well, how dare you think that black people know how to get an ID in this state, in any part of America either, right?
At this point, I'm starting to realize maybe they can't, based off of what public schools are teaching kids. As far as
that's their goal. Their goal is that we become as dumb as they treat us. I made this point like a month ago. Like, they treat us like we're really, really stupid. And in my on the Float show, one of the titles was, "Are they retarded?" ? And it wasn't to be, tongue in cheek. It's just either they're that stupid or they think we are. And if neither are the case, then it's that they want you to be. So they're just going to treat you as if they want you to be that stupid, and we're going to go with it. The media lulls you into it. And all of a sudden, we're how many months and now going on 2 years into a Biden administration? That doesn't make sense. If I talked to me 2 years ago, I'd be slapping me saying there's a Biden presidency.
Right. It's a basic parenting thing, though. Like anybody who has kids knows that it's better not to talk baby language to your children, because you will just continue to teach them to speak that way, right? You'll create a speech impediment, or you'll talk down to them so much they don't actually grow. So the best thing to do
What are you talking about? That doesn't happen.
Is to talk to them like an adult, and they'll grow up. And now we're seeing the left do exactly that. They talk to us like we're stupid to make us stupid. Yeah.
If that is the case, now that explains a lot. Occasionally, I will find myself.
I may clip that segment there.
That's not possible. Every once in a while, sometimes I find out I bobble my awes, and I'm like, wait, I've never even had an impediment. How does that work out? But my mom always talks baby talk to the pets, and now I'm thinking I do that too around the house. Maybe I'm giving myself an impediment. If they've ever told you, like in a communications class, they say you can extend your vocal range by doing exercises. Maybe if you do, talk to the cats and dogs in a stupid way, you start saying stupid things.
No
That's
wonder
my
my
excuse.
chickens cluck with a impediment. It might be because I'm.